it's just about the, who's in power. No, it's the fact that your ideas don't make any sense.
People on the left won't talk to other people. If so, why?
Fear.
Like, publicly talk to people.
I think there's a couple different parts of a left versus right belief system that can play into people's proclivities to talk to each other. So for instance, on the left, you've got people who talk about like the paradox of tolerance, to where if you're tolerant of viewpoints that are very intolerant, then you run the risk of
tolerating intolerance.
Those particular viewpoints becoming so popular that it basically bullies out all of the tolerant ones, because intolerant people try to get rid of tolerant people, basically.
And I feel like that's pretty much leftism these days. Shout out to Nick Luchetti in the building. Welcome to the party. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah.
That's an idea you have on the left. I will say, though, that there are similar types of ideas that show up on the right. So, for instance, the biggest arguments that people on, I don't know if I'd say far right, but like very religious right will give against LGBT stuff as well. If these LGBT ideas become really popular, our kids are all going to become trans, and then we're going to lose the culture war that way or whatever.
And so notice how he's framing it through the religious, the far right religious, crazy person. Oh, they're going to turn all our kids.
The power of Christ compels you. That the power of Christ compels you.
But there's no truth to that. And so when it gets a character, it becomes a caricature of the actual position, then you have people like Destiny going on these shows and saying things that's kind of like what you think, but making it sound just a little bit dumber and meaner.
Yeah.
So honestly, at the end of the day, I really think that if you have a lot of power, I think that the more power you have, the less you're into the whole freedom of speech and talking to people that disagree with you, because you don't need to. You already have like the majority cultural power. So I think as of recently, you've seen kind of the left has more cultural power than the right, at least in terms of like media and schools and everything. So why would they want to give the right a platform? And now the right is very big on like freedom of speech and everything. You don't have to go back 20, 30 years ago. They wanted to censor all the LGBT stuff, get rid of like violence in video games, get rid of all the stuff that offended them. But now
the pendulum does swing. Shout out to Guns and Cafe in the building. Welcome to the party. Said survey says not a grifter. Grifters need talent. He's just a troll. Ooh. So right now we do have the four-way poll. Is Destiny a grifter? Yes, and I like him. No, and I like him. Yes, I don't like him. Or no, he's not a grifter and I don't like him. And right now, yes, he is a grifter, and no, I don't like him is edging out just a little bit at 43%. So I want to keep that up. I want to see how that goes throughout the day. I think we'll see. We'll see if we can change any minds. I mean, he definitely is a troll in a lot of situations, but I agree. I don't think he is a grifter. Yeah, right. Shout out to Alex Jones.
they're on the back foot. They're like, well, no, actually, everybody should have freedom of speech.
So you don't think there's anything intrinsic to the ideology that causes people like with identitarian concerns to not talk to other people? You just think it's who's in power?
That's convenient.
As I've gotten older and as I've gone through more and more of these, seeing like the come and goes of different types of political ideologies, I'm less feeling like there's stuff intrinsic to political ideologies and more that political ideologies just tend to be the manifestation of a bunch of really similar foundations of belief from people. That's like the feeling I have.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you're the incumbent in a presidential race and you're way up in the polls, you don't want to have any debates. If you're way down,
yeah, that's why Biden, he's just like, nah, man, I'm already winning. There's no reason.
I've done some dumb things, and I'll do dumb things again.
Down in the polls, you need more debates.
Yeah.
So I think it's a similar principle operative there about having the power. It does seem to be something particularly intrinsic to the left. I mean, it's certainly intrinsic if you look at the ideologies that underlie it, the academic ideologies that buttress it or underlie it. But I do find it concerning because we have an impossible time to get people who are proponents of critical social justice on the show.
Please, dear God, just say something.
Like they just won't come on. And the consequence of that is people always accuse us of being like,
biased or a right wing, and it's straight cap that it's just about the who's in power. No, it's the fact that your ideas don't make any sense. Left and right both used to debate and talk about things, and this new thing of shutting down speech entirely is a byproduct of knowing that you don't have an argument and just wanting what you want and maybe not realizing how silly it is to want something that isn't rational, but you don't care. You just want it, and it is what it is. Destiny's trying to say, oh, well, no, it's the power dynamics and this and that and that. No.
Stop the cap.
They know what's good. They know what's good.
Them on, the emails got lost. I mean, it's insane. So how do you, I mean, you talk to those people or no?
No, they don't talk to me.
Why don't they talk to you?
I think that depending on how far left you go, you're getting into like academic circles and stuff, and they just don't talk to many people at all. If you're talking about like the big shows,
that's an interesting point that I never really put into the context of like online political speech. Because, you know, if you're Nick Fuentes and you're far right, whatever, then yeah, you're gonna want to be spreading your ideas and stuff. But if you're, you know, kind of a buttoned up person who maybe has more radical ideas, but you have an understanding that the normal person isn't going to be able to get it, then it does make sense that you would hold these opinions, but not necessarily want to be in the conversation.
I know it, I just don't want to say it.
You're getting into like academic circles and stuff, and they just don't talk to many people at all. If you're talking about like the big shows, I don't know. I just don't think people in big shows in general have very many combative conversations or very many adversarial conversations. Because
right, that's what he's saying. He's saying you should.
It seems like kind of what you just said before. The upside is almost non-existent. Like, okay, well, I can talk to a person, and I guess I can get some views on a video. But the downside, if you do really poorly in a conversation, is almost unlimited. You can have a conversation that ends your career technically if you have it horribly enough. So.
Yeah, and so that shows when somebody is willing to debate or not willing to debate, then it shows a strength in their position, or at least a confidence in their position.
I got this.
Not only that, but it shows that, okay, even if I'm going to be wrong here, I'm not going to be in bad faith, and the other person is actually going to prove me wrong, so I'll have a new idea to be right about. People worried about getting views and talking about how is this going to do for my career. Again, if you don't have anything good to say, then why does it matter? It doesn't. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.